Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the session Cyber Attack, Cybersecurity and Data Privacy Trends for Asia Pacific and Japan and how to apply Zero Trust Architecture to your enterprise. My name is Anyapon Sikalayana-But. I will be your moderator for this session. First of all, I would like to introduce the feature of our speaker joining us today. Please welcome Air Vice Marshal Amon Chom Cherry, Secretary General National Cybersecurity Agency, and Mr. Yam Sean Yi, his Special Project Cybersecurity Agency Singapore, and Mr. Masayuki FURUKAWA, Senior Deputy Director, Office of STI&DX, JICA Head Office. Please welcome all of them. It is my great pleasure to be on the stage with all of you because I never have a chance to talk about this kinds of thing in terms of regionally like this. So guys, for this session, we would like to invite all of you to learn from our speaker vision and experiences towards cybersecurity drive in the national level and possible regional collaboration opportunities. So, without further ado, I would like to start with the question for ท่านเลขาธิการนะคะ The first question is, presently, what are the current cybersecurity trends in Thailand? And how kinds of major cyber attacks are there that we should keep an eye on or be aware for?
Okay. For the trending issues, it comes with digital transformation because right now everyone is using internet, and for Thai people, right now we spend almost 9 hours per day on the average in cyberspace. Okay. For example, every time you take a look at your phone, you are leaving here and join the cyberspace. Okay, and also all the services on the government side and on the private sector as well are offered in cyber. Okay? And that brings a lot of opportunities. For example, for digital economy, right now it's about 14% of GDP. Okay? But of course, all the cyber criminals really want to take advantage of it. Like for example, you will hear a lot on the news about call center gang and hybrid scam, online scam. And one of the reasons that it's happening a lot in Thailand because we are the top mobile banking user in the world for 3 years in a row now. So it's so easy now for us to transfer money, but also it's so easy for us to get food by the criminal and then transfer money to them as well. So on the personal level, that's a lot of problem that we are facing right now. That's why we invite the police here to show the statistics regarding the hybrid scam. Okay? Yeah. But on the infrastructure, including the CAI, the critical information infrastructure, and also a lot of organizations, we have been hit by the ransomware gang. Okay? And the one that we monitor is Lockbit 3.0. This one is interesting because if you want to join them, the only thing you need to send to them is username and password. If you are the administrator and you are in debt with some online casino website, one of the easiest way to get money, maybe you send the admin credential to those ransomware gang, and then after they get the ransom, they give you half. Okay. And last year, there's like 14 cases from just one gang. And the cost of ransom is 620 million baht. Okay, and that's when you want to pay. But a lot of companies couldn't afford it. So the problem is even worse because one of the case, they use the ERP. It means that they have everything on cloud, and it got hit by the ransomware gang, and the ransom is 25 million. But the budget for the whole company is much less than that. Yeah. So I guess it caused some company to went out of business because of the ransomware cases. And that's a major concern that we have to tackle on the personal level for the people and also for the organizations.
Okay, thank you very much for your clear explanation. So now I would like to turn to Mr. Yang. In terms of cybersecurity agency Singapore, how's about cybersecurity trends in Singapore? Are there any recent cyber attack similar to Thailand or different?
So the Cybersecurity Agency of Singapore, we publish what we call the Singapore Cyber Landscape Report, and we publish it every year. So in the 2021 report, what we found that crime in Singapore, 48% is through cyber. So that is how they have, moved from stealing money from the banks to stealing money on cyber, right? And the reason, like Kun Amon said, it's all about digital transformation, digital services. So it makes it easier for the cyber criminals to steal money, right, instead of physically trying to rob a bank. So in terms of scams, for last year, 2022, there is in Singapore there's a 32% increase in scams, and combined with the 2021 scam losses, right, the Singaporeans lost $1.3 billion. So there's a lot of money for the cyber criminals. Yeah. So the kind of threats that ransomware and so on, these are also happening in Singapore, right? So we will find ways to solve some of the problems. So later I will try to explain one of our solutions is a zero trust asset-based cyber defense that will help small and medium-sized enterprises block or prevent ransomware. Right, that is a very good solution that everybody can use. So this is one of the reasons I'm here in Thailand to work with the Thai companies and see whether they can use this solution to help the people in Thailand.
Thank you very much for giving us such a clear picture of overall Singapore cyber security nowadays. So let's move to Mr. Masayuki Furukawa from JICA. Same question. What are the current cybersecurity trend and cyber attack in Japan nowadays?
Thank you, moderator, and thank you for giving us a chance to be here. It's very honor. Similar to Singapore, IT promotion agency publish 10 major cyber risk every year. Sorry, not every day, every year. And recently, these top two, 10 major cybersecurity risks for organization and individuals. For the organization, top 4 is not really changing. I mean, one of the top 1 is ransomware, still. And the other one is exploitation of confidential information by APT or such and such. But recently, the list of 2 is really keen to, but the government of Japan is keen to protect is supply chain attack. Because Japan is a manufacturing company we have, and supply chain attack is really increasing. And also, because of the COVID-19, we encourage all companies to do the telework and the remote work. So all attackers are trying to attack on that environment recently. On the individual level, this 4 year, this information and abuse on the SNS is really getting serious now. And also still phishing, and as you mentioned, the attack, fraud for the banking or payments is still, online payment is still very important. Because 97% of the Japanese companies are SMEs. Mm-hmm. So it is very important to encourage SME to invest. But in reality, they do not have much financially ready for that investment. So we need to pay more effort. On the individual level, Japan is now very aging society. Means we need to really encourage elderly to utilize digital technology to get a benefit of the digital ages now. But on the other hand, cybersecurity literacy is very important. So one of the awareness activity is very important for us as well.
Thank you very much for your answer. It's very interesting. So now we will move on to each country governmental aspect regarding to the policy, the regulation, and legislation, as well as the guideline to support the cybersecurity drive. So I would like to raise this question first to ท่านเลขาธิการค่ะ As for Thailand, could you please share for the vision, policy, or perspective of could help drive cybersecurity and protect against cyber attacks?
Okay, so first of all, I will start with the law. Okay, right now we have Cybersecurity Act that require all the CAI and government agencies to perform risk assessment and to have the way to protect and most importantly to detect and do the incident response. Okay, all the CAI and government agency are required to have the capability because one of the main concern that we have is that right now we're relying more and more for the CAI to provide the service for the people. Okay, the electricity, water, banking, and everything is relying on cybersecurity. That's why 4 years ago we have Cybersecurity Act to help with the protection and the security of the CAI. Okay, and not just that, it also we have on the 9th of December last year we have the policy and plan at the national level to help improve on the cybersecurity posture for the whole country, so that at the end, hopefully, we will have the security for all dimensions, which mean the people, the technologies, and the process and policies, so that at the end we can achieve our goal to have cybersecurity for the whole society.
Thank you very much. I would like to turn to Mr. Yang. To what extent does Singapore set for cybersecurity vision, legislation, sorry for that, legislation and policy regarding to this matter?
Yeah, thanks for the question. So when Cybersecurity Agency of Singapore was formed in 2015, we took a holistic approach to this cybersecurity problem. Right. So we published the Singapore Cybersecurity Strategy in 2016, and in there we have 5 pillars of activities. The first one is we need to build resilient infrastructure. Second is to enable a safer cyberspace. Third is to enhance international cooperation because cybersecurity is not happening only within a country, it happens around the world. So we need international cooperation. We also need the companies to have a vibrant cybersecurity ecosystem because you need such a system to provide you the capability to do the work. More importantly, we also need the people. All right, so we have the last pillar called the grow the robust cyber talent pipeline. So, but we have reviewed this strategy again in 2021. So instead of 5 pillars, we have 3 pillars now. It's the same thing. The 3 pillars are still build the resilient infrastructure, create a safer cyberspace, as well as international cooperation. But the vibrant ecosystem now becomes a foundation to support all the 3 pillars. Same as to grow a vibrant talent pipeline. Again, these are foundation. You need the people for all the 3 pillars. So that's the modification that we have done. Just like Thailand, we do also have the Cybersecurity Act. And this act is to ensure that the CII operators and the owners, the stakeholders, do their work to make sure that they raise the cybersecurity of the essential services. So in our case, we issue a cybersecurity code of practice to help them, to raise the security posture and so forth. And we also enforce this practice. Through this enforcement, if we find that the owner blatantly neglect the cybersecurity, we can actually send the owner to jail. I think this is the only law in the world that does that, I think. Yeah. But so far, everybody is cooperative, lah. No? Yeah. Yeah. So one of the reasons I'm here is because of the creating a vibrant ecosystem. So as part of that, CSA put in money to fund what we call call for cyber innovation. We ask people around the world what problems you have, and then we ask these problems to all the people around the world to see what solutions that they have. All right. So the Zero Trust Asset-Based Cyber Defense solution is one of those that came through this program. That's why I'm here to help people or tell people that this solution will help to protect you against ransomware. All right. We cannot prevent a sophisticated attacker, but this solution will allow you to detect the attacker quickly. Right. The reason is because we are monitoring for the enemy inside your environment. That's why we'll pick up the enemy very quickly. Yeah. So as you can see, we took a holistic approach. We also took a stick and carrot approach, right? You cannot just use a stick only, then people don't want to cooperate. You also need to give them carrots, right? Grants, subsidies, help them in the innovation and so forth. Yeah, so that's what we have done in Singapore. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, Mr. Furukawa, could you please also share about the overall picture of cybersecurity policy drive in Japan?
Okay. It's quite similar with Thailand and Singapore. And Japan has a Cybersecurity Act in maybe 2016, and we updated a cybersecurity strategy in 2021. And these are three pillars and two cross-cutting matter, but quite similar with Singapore one. The first pillar is about the national security, so including the national CSAT functionality and capability upgrade, and also CII protection. And also, there's some collaboration of government and academia to create a better solution and for the cybersecurity, like cybersecurity for AI and AI for cybersecurity, such and such. And second pillar is about private sector and the citizens. So as I mentioned before, 97% of the Japanese companies are SMEs. So we, government in Japan, try to encourage and promote investment on cybersecurity in SMEs. And some IT promotion agency just developed a risk assessment calculation tool to understand the cybersecurity damage once it happened against the investment, to understand that is necessary and mandatory for the SMEs. And for the citizens, we have several literacy, awareness project activities for the elderly and the youths and the specific targets. It's not general one, but because we need to focus on the specific targets to understand better understanding on the cybersecurity matters. And the third pillar is very relevant to this event, international cooperation and collaboration. So it is cybersecurity we cannot protect cyber attacks by only solo country alone. So we need to collaborate each other. In this context, government Thailand and government Japan collaboratively established the ASEAN-Japan Cybersecurity Capacity Building Center. So it's long, AJCCBC, from 2018, and we had a booth in the next room. If you have interested in, please visit. But that is really to develop the cybersecurity workforce among the ASEAN countries. The workforce is very important. And a cross-cutting matter, we have some activity of the R&Ds by collaboration of government, academia, and private. And also, domestic cybersecurity workforce development is also a very important activity for all pillars. So I didn't talk details, but that is an overview of the Japanese policy.
Thank you very much for sharing the national vision and policy on cybersecurity. So next, I would like to raise this question to each of you about a part of the support drive in the national level. How does each country work together regionally or internationally towards the goal of strengthening cybersecurity collaboration?
Okay. The first thing I would like to put forward is that right now we are in the process of try to form the ASEAN CERT. Okay, because right now every country in ASEAN have national CERT to perform in each of the country, but the cybersecurity threat is borderless. Okay, so we need to form an alliance together within the ASEAN region to have the CERT capability, the computer emergency response team, to coordinate with all the activities. Okay. And I think one of the reasons for that is the example of WannaCry. Okay. For WannaCry, it happened on one side of the world, but within one day it spread all over the world in terms of millions of computers. But if we form an alliance and have some ASEAN CERT, it could help prevent that. Okay. One country saw it happening, and we share the information, share the way to protect it. The rest can be secure and be better prepared to handle the cyber crisis. So that's the most important project that we try to move forward to form the alliance within the ASEAN region to perform the ASEAN CERT. And also, of course, the ASEAN-Japan Cybersecurity Capacity Building Center. And that one is to not just to educate people. In my way of thinking, is will help with the trust. Because when you come to Thailand to be trained, you will be friend. And when you are friend, you can overcome the issue of trust, and it will be easier to share the information. So both of these corporations will strive forward the same goal, to have better cooperation to counter the cyber attacks and also the cyber threat for now and for the future.
Thank you very much. Mr. Yam, what is your thought on this?
Yeah, so like I said in the Singapore cybersecurity strategy, right, the international cooperation is essential. It's very important. So besides working to create international norms for cyber behavior, that's what one of the things that Singapore did in the United Nations. We also need to help people in the confidence building measures, right? So in Singapore, we also have the ASEAN Singapore Cybersecurity Center of Excellence, where we curate courses. So last week there was a training with the US, and Kun Amon was a presenter also at that conference. Yeah. So these are things that we can do at the cooperation level, but I still think that it's also important that if we have good technical answers, solutions, all right, so we should share that, all right. So just to repeat myself, the asset-based cyber defense is the first in the world that we have created that is integrated solution to defend against ransomware, all right, and to detect advanced threat quickly. So I'm not an expert in the international cooperation area, but if there are questions, you can send to me later on. Otherwise, I have to defer to Masayuki-san for advice.
So next, Mr. Furukawa, could you please share in this?
Yeah, obviously, cybersecurity incident is not the fire over the river, rather next fiber of neighbors now. So that is the challenges. So the other countries' issues are reflecting our own country. That's why the cybersecurity challenges are not really national security matters now. And also, the cybersecurity is really, because the digital transformation of society is ongoing, that means cybersecurity is really related to the human security as well. Because it's really digital society is reflecting their daily lives. That's why cybersecurity need to be protected or developed, developed amongst the collaborative work is among the countries, obviously. That is a very important point, I think. And also, one of the effort we should, the Mr. Amon just mentioned, for example, one suspicious mail comes, and even that email shared amongst each country is really helpful for each national side to understand what is attack is going to come to our country in the next days or a few days. In that context, trust is really, really important to share such kind of the sensitive information. That's why we are very happy to work with ASEAN nations through Japan-ASEAN Cybersecurity Policy Meeting, 4 times organized in a year, every year, and also Singapore leading the SCCE and we are leading AJCCBC. So that's kind of the collaborative work is very, very essential for making the international trust.
Thank you very much, and I believe that all of us learn a lot from our invited guests on the stage. But now we are coming to the final part of this session. I would like to ask our speaker on the stage to deliver a final message for associated agency and the public on cybersecurity awareness. First, what cybersecurity issues should we be aware for? Second, are there any matter requests to be done urgently? And last, are there any collaboration opportunities that should be driven in the near future? Can I start from Talekaka?
Okay. So the lesson we have in the past regarding the ransomware, usually it start off by relying on just the user credential, username and password to get on the system. Okay, and that could lead to a lot of cyber incident and especially the ransomware. Okay, so the first thing I would like to request everyone to review the current way that you allow people to connect from internet to your system. If you are just using the virtual private network with just password as the mean of authentication, then you should change that. Okay, at least you should have the multi-factor authentication. Or move on to consider the zero trust. Okay, but zero trust is not just equipment. Okay, you cannot just buy zero trust and add on to your system. So it's a journey, it's a process of investigating what you have and how to implement zero trust for your system. Okay, so that's another thing that you require a lot of cooperation. You have to learn more about the technologies and form a team of alliance within your own organization and the technological partner so that you could move on to the next step for securing cybersecurity by securing the identity system.
Thank you very much. Mr. Yang, can you deliver your final message?
So what I focus on is actually the mindset. Right? So you all have to remember, cybersecurity is actually a contest, right, between the defender and the attacker. So you must always focus your security from the attacker's perspective. So in my previous job as Director of Cybersecurity Program Center, we actually work with the business owners to work out the threat model for that particular business. And then we work out what are the risks that they need to mitigate. And then what measures you need to put in place to do the risk management. Right? So always do security by design. That's basically what I just explained. After the design, after the implement, then you will go by compliance. So don't start with compliance first. Right? The compliance is required because you need to ensure the security through the life cycle of the system, all right, until it get decommissioned. Yeah, so that's my advice. Have that kind of mindset, and you get the people that help you to do that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's hear from Furukawa-san.
Thank you very much. As Mr. Yang mentioned, that robust and vibrant cybersecurity ecosystem is very important. And in order to achieve that, cybersecurity workforce development is one of the key, we believe, among the ASEAN and Japan. And I'm very happy to announce now that we're gonna extend our collaboration between government of Thailand and the government of Japan at the AJCCBC. Hopefully sign today a new agreement that we're gonna collaborate to train 500 cybersecurity workforce among the ASEAN countries at the AJCCBC for 4 years now. And we are really happy and excited to collaborate with government of Thailand and ASEAN nations to extend our journey for the safe, trusted cyberspaces. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of this session, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for all the three guest speakers on the stage. Air Marshal Amon Chomchei, Mr. Yam Yuan Jin, and Mr. Furukawa. Please give a big round of applause for our guest speaker.